You thought no one saw it. That quiet sacrifice you made, the thing you gave up for the sake of Allah, the hardship you endured with a smile, when no one knew how much it cost you. Inside, you held back tears. You stayed silent. You kept going while praying behind closed doors for an opening, any opening to appear. And just when you began to accept that maybe this is your life now, something starts shifting. A new face enters your life, a stranger, a conversation, a sudden opportunity. And what you don't realize is that while you were being patient in the shadows, Allah was already writing something for you in the light. Sometimes Allah sends a test, and sometimes He sends a stranger who isn't ordinary, someone with wealth, with influence, with power, someone who can open doors in a moment that you've been banging on for years, not because you chased them, but because Allah sent them as a response to the heart you kept pure when it would have been easier to give up. This video isn't about fantasies, it's not about wishful thinking. It's about the very real ways Allah intervenes in the lives of those who remain sincere, the believers who quietly pass tests no one else sees. And the truth is, when you are that person, Allah can relocate your entire life in an instant, using someone you never even expected. Stay with us as we uncover the 5 powerful reasons Allah may send someone to uplift you, relocate you, and reward you in ways you didn't even pray for, simply because of what you did behind closed doors. Because when you're sincere with Allah, the entire world can shift in your favor without you chasing a thing. Number 1, you gave up something for the sake of Allah, and He's about to give you better. There are moments in life when your soul is torn. You love something or someone. You've built memories, habits, even dreams around it, but deep inside, you know it's pulling you away from Allah. Whether it's a haram relationship, a toxic environment, or a lifestyle that drains your iman, it feels good in the moment, but heavy in the soul. And then one day you walk away, not because it's easy, but because you choose Allah over your comfort. You choose peace over pleasure. You choose the unseen reward over the temporary high. No one sees the pain behind that choice. No one knows how many nights you cried, but Allah does. And what the world sees as a loss, Allah sees as an act of love. And here's where something powerful happens. Because when you give something up purely for Allah's sake, Allah replaces it not just with anything, but with something better, something unexpected, sometimes through a wealthy stranger, a job opportunity you didn't apply for, a move to a new city that suddenly opens every door, a new environment where your soul finally breathes. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "You will never leave something for the sake of Allah, except that Allah will replace it with something better." That's not just a hadith, it's a promise. And maybe that better isn't just in material things, maybe it's in the way you feel lighter now, closer to Allah, more protected. Maybe it's in the way He sends someone into your life who recognizes your worth without you proving it. So if you're still grieving what you walked away from, don't worry. You didn't lose anything. You passed a test, and now Allah is preparing the replacement. And sometimes that replacement arrives in a way that's bigger, louder, and more generous than you ever imagined. Number 2, you stayed patient in a place that was slowly killing your soul. There are places that look normal on the outside, but quietly suffocate the soul. A household filled with criticism instead of compassion. A job where you feel invisible no matter how hard you work. A group of friends that laugh with you but lead you away from Allah behind the scenes. And yet, you stay patient. You keep showing up. You choose silence over conflict. You endure, not because you're weak, but because you're holding on to your values. You cry in secret. You make dua quietly. You beg Allah to take you somewhere better, somewhere cleaner for your soul. But nothing changes, at least not right away. So you start to wonder, Is Allah even listening to me? But what you don't see is what Allah is already setting in motion behind the curtain of the unseen. Sometimes He sends someone with resources, authority, or simply the right influence, to pull you out of that environment, not because you chased them, but because your patience earned you a rescue. You were quietly breaking, and Allah said, "Enough." And just like that, something shifts. A new job comes, a distant relative offers you a new space to live. Someone enters your life who sees your worth and helps you leave behind what was draining you. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, "Know that victory comes with patience, relief with affliction, and ease with hardship." It's not a coincidence. It's qadr. It's Allah rewarding the ones who stayed patient when they had every reason to give up. So if you're in a place that's weighing you down, hold on. Your patience isn't being ignored. And maybe the reason you're still standing is because Allah is writing your relocation and He's about to send someone to open the door. Number 3, you've been doing good in silence, and Allah is about to reward you publicly. You're the kind of person who doesn't need recognition. You do good because it's right, not because it's noticed. You help people without expecting anything back. You serve without needing applause. You check on others, give charity, carry emotional burdens, and still smile like everything's okay, even when no one ever stops to ask how you're really doing. And the truth is, it hurts. Sometimes you wonder if anyone sees what you do, if it even matters, if it's worth it to keep showing up when your presence is taken for granted again and again. But here's what you've forgotten. You don't need to be seen by people because you are already being seen by Allah. And when Allah sees a heart that keeps doing good, despite the exhaustion, despite the loneliness, despite the lack of recognition, He plans a reward that matches the purity of that heart. And sometimes that reward comes in the form of a person, someone influential, someone who sees your light immediately, someone who was divinely guided to you, not to rescue you, but to elevate you. They offer you a new space, a new position, a chance to relocate, not just physically but emotionally. And suddenly, the one who spent their life unnoticed becomes the one Allah honors in front of the very world that once overlooked them. The Quran reminds us, Surah At-Tawbah 9:120, "Indeed, Allah does not let the reward of the doers of good go to waste." You weren't ignored, you were being preserved for something better. So if you've been walking through life quietly, doing good while feeling unseen, stay patient, because your sincerity may be the very reason Allah sends someone to lift you up and take you where your soul finally feels honored. Number 4, you stayed true to yourself when everyone else tried to break you. You didn't chase popularity. You didn't change yourself to fit in. You didn't drop your values just to be accepted. And for that, you paid a price. You were misunderstood, mocked, maybe even looked down upon by friends, co-workers, maybe even family. They called your dreams unrealistic, your faith too extreme, your personality too quiet or too serious. But what they never saw was the strength it took to hold on to your dignity, your adab, your identity when everyone else expected you to break. And maybe you started believing them. Maybe you felt stuck, like nothing will change, like you'll never be anything more than what they've labeled you as. But that's when Allah intervenes, because when you stay sincere, stay focused, and keep your heart clean, even when others dirty the space around you, Allah eventually lifts you, not by magic, but by divine wisdom. He creates a path, a person, an opportunity, someone He sends into your life to see your worth, to offer a space that matches your sincerity. It may be a new work opportunity, a marriage proposal, a move to a better environment. It may come from someone you don't expect, but it comes with Allah's full mercy behind it. Just like He raised Yusuf alayhi salam from a prison cell to a palace, Allah has always been in the business of honoring the overlooked, those who remained patient, grateful and obedient when no one else clapped for them. This isn't about some stranger with riches. This is about how Allah honors His servants through the means He chooses, sometimes through people, sometimes through unexpected change, sometimes through a door you didn't even knock on. So if you're surrounded by people who still don't believe in you, that's okay. Your value isn't decided by them, it's decided by the one who created you, and His plan always arrives on time. Number 5. You kept making dua, even when it felt like nothing was changing. There's something deeply beautiful about a believer who raises their hands when their heart is tired, who whispers, Ya Allah, not because things are easy, but because they still believe, even through the silence. Maybe you've been there, waking up at tahajjud, whispering in sujood, crying in your pillow after everyone else sleeps. You didn't have the perfect words. Sometimes you just said the same dua again and again, not because you were desperate, but because you had nowhere else to turn. And maybe it felt like nothing happened, no big changes, no miracles, just another day, another closed door. And that's when Satan tries to creep in. What's the point? Why keep praying? But what you didn't see was that your dua was already being answered, piece by piece, moment by moment, because in Islam, every sincere dua is heard, and every dua is answered in one of 3 ways. Allah gives you what you asked for, or He saves you from something worse, or He stores something greater for you in the akhirah. And sometimes Allah answers by sending the exact person, opportunity or shift that you would have never thought to ask for. Not always someone rich or powerful, but someone with the right heart, the right access, the right timing, a means that Allah uses to gently lift you out of where you were and place you exactly where you needed to be. This is what happens when your dua is sincere, when it's made not out of entitlement but humility. That's when Allah gives not just what you asked for, but more. So if you're still making dua and waiting, don't stop. You have no idea how close the answer might be. You have no idea who Allah may already be preparing to step into your life, not as a coincidence, but as a response to your patience and trust. My dear brothers and sisters, if you've ever felt stuck in a place that drained your soul, if you've ever cried alone after giving up something for the sake of Allah, if you've ever kept making dua while everyone else gave up on you, then know this: Allah has never ignored you. He saw your sacrifice, He witnessed your patience, He counted every tear. And maybe you didn't get a reply in the form you expected, but that doesn't mean the answer isn't on its way. Sometimes Allah sends people. Sometimes He changes your environment. Sometimes He brings you out of struggle so softly you don't even realize how far you've come until you look back one day and say, Subhanallah, I remember when this was just a dua. But remember, this isn't about chasing someone rich or powerful. This is about staying sincere, consistent, and close to Allah, because the greatest relocation isn't just physical. It's the shift that happens in your soul when Allah moves you from weakness to strength, from fear to peace, and from isolation to divine care. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Be mindful of Allah, and He will take care of you." So be mindful, be sincere, and believe if you've done something for Allah that no one else knows about, He will reward you in ways you can't even imagine. Say this simple dua with me. Ya Allah, if you see something in me worth elevating, then guide me, protect me, and open the doors you've written for me with ease and barakah. Ameen. If your heart felt this message, comment below, Ya Allah, take me where I'm meant to be. Your words might be the comfort someone else is desperately needing tonight. And don't forget, liking and subscribing doesn't cost anything. but it helps us keep spreading messages that speak to the heart, not just the screen. May Allah relocate you to peace, purpose and provision, not just in dunya, but all the way to Jannah. Ameen.